Well, good afternoon and welcome. Thanks for joining us today for our new knowledge session. My name is Sandy Ratliff. I'm with Virginia Community Capital. If you're not familiar with our organization, we're a community development financial institution providing lending, investing, and community innovation services in Virginia. We're happy to partner with the Washington County Chamber of Commerce, the Virginia Highlands Small Business Incubator, and the town of Abington to present this business and organizational skill development program. This has been going on since 2014 as a way to support our Washington County Business Challenge to help those competitors to move forward on their business. And it's grown to probably one of the oldest running business development programs in the state of Virginia. Today's session will be recorded for training and educational purposes. Now, before I get started, I wanted to note that to keep the webinar flowing, we do have everybody muted. And our goal is to keep this in a 1 hour time schedule. But if you have a question for our presenters, please don't hesitate to ask those in the Q&A section. And at the end of the session, we will address those and get those answered for you. We're delighted today to have Marty, Holliday, and Kimber Simmons with the Virginia Career Works New River Mount Rogers region. They have to have an extra large business card to handle all that. But happy to have you here today to lead our new knowledge session on workforce system, what it can do for your business. I have known both of these ladies for many years, won't say how many years, but I can tell you firsthand the passion and the knowledge of helping businesses in the region that they offered. So I am going to turn it over to Marty. And again, thanks for joining us today. And it's all yours.
All right, let me pull up my screen. Oops, this always goes faster than I think. All I need is to touch something. Well, greetings, everybody, and I hope that you're having a wonderful day on this beautiful winter day that we still have outside. And I want to thank Sandy for allowing Kimber and I to come on and talk about one of our favorite subjects, which is how we serve the businesses in our footprint. I am the executive director of the New River Mount Rogers Workforce Development Board and the New River Mount Rogers Workforce Development Area Consortium Board. And we're going to talk a little bit about those boards in a moment. But basically, our task is to coordinate the workforce system throughout our footprint to ensure that we're serving job seekers and businesses in a more effective way. But before I go on, I would like my peer and partner, Kimber Simmons, to introduce herself.
Hey, I'm Kimber Simmons. I am the Business Services Coordinator for the New River Mount Rogers region.
All right. Well, I always like to make sure people understand a little bit about what we do in general before I try to take you down the rabbit hole of any one particular subject matter. So again, this is the New River Mount Rogers Workforce Development Board and the Consortium Board, and we cover the 13 localities of the New River and Mount Rogers planning districts. We are one of 15 workforce boards in the state of Virginia, and we oversee federal employment and training programs that come into our footprint. So a little bit about our boards. So the New River Mount Rogers Workforce Development Area Consortium Board, and yes, that is a mouthful. I'm always so excited when I say it and it doesn't spill out all over the place. Those are the chief local elected officials from those 13 localities. And they oversee the strategic and the funding component of the funds that come into the region. And this board also appoints the board members to the Workforce Development Board, which is a volunteer board. So the New River Mount Rogers Workforce Development Board is 51% business representatives. Each locality could have up to 2 reps each. And I try to say publicly, even to them, I'm thankful they don't all have 2 reps each. My board is plenty big enough without that. But they do all have to have one. So every locality has a representation from the business community on the Workforce Development Board. We also have a member of economic development. We have members of education, that is K-12 CTE, adult education, post-secondary education. We have members that are representing labor unions and a member that represents a company that has an apprenticeship program, plus a host of other workforce and community partners. Now, the Workforce Development Board was designated by those elected officials to be the convener of the region's workforce system, which is quite large. As you can see, again, it's back to those same folks who are seated as representation. But basically, it's the education system. So it's K-12 education, post-secondary education, adult education, and in organizations and agencies that have funds for training and employment programs offered for special populations, such as those that are veterans, unemployed or underemployed, older workers, economically disadvantaged, those with disabilities, and youth ages 14 to 24. So the mission of our boards, and I do think that this is important, why we are actually here, is to support the region's economy through a collaborative approach to meeting the needs of businesses and job seekers. And in this day and age, we've learned to be very flexible because our economic is in fact changing on a regular basis. So that's the reason why the boards are here. And our vision is to ensure that every business has a qualified, job-ready workforce, and every citizen in the region has the skills in order to secure meaningful, not just any job, but meaningful employment, sustainable employment at competitive wages, and that they have the opportunity for career advancement. And we do this through this integrated workforce structure. I do like to tell folks that if I put it all in a nutshell, our task is to ensure the businesses have the workforce that they need and individuals can have a wage that's a family sustaining wage. And as you can imagine, sometimes those two pieces don't meet as clearly as they should. But that is, in fact, what we're trying to accomplish. Today, because most of you are business folks, we are totally focused on the business side of what we do. I can't ignore in some of the conversation or even what Kimber's going to talk about, that job seeker piece, because they are intertwined. But today's discussion is going to be predominantly focused on how we work with businesses, how we support businesses. So I do want you to see our strategic goals. We have 6 of them, and 4 of them I consider to be highly focused around getting businesses what they need. So goal number 1 does in fact talk about those individuals. But goal number 2 talks about how we engage and work with businesses to ensure that we bring value to the region's businesses, because we recognize that when the business community is strong, they're going to be hiring, more people get jobs, more people are spending money in the region. The whole region is just economically stronger. So that's really what goal 2 is about. How do we build those relationships? Goal 3 is specifically, how do we ensure that businesses in the region have the talent pipeline necessary to be competitive in their own marketplace so that they can, in fact, not only sustain their business, but grow their business. Goal number 4 is how do we ensure you know what we're doing? That's part of today. How do we ensure you know what we're doing? And that we can ensure that job seekers and students out in our region, they understand what businesses are looking for, what kind of jobs are available, what kind of training and credentialing is important to those jobs. So basically, that's what number 4 is all about. How do we ensure that communication is going around in the region? And goal number 5 is to ensure that we are offering innovative solutions to whatever the problem might be. And we're going to talk a little bit about that as we move forward. But it is to try to ensure that we hear what the businesses say and that we're able to provide solutions that are important and of value to you. And number 6 is all about how do we ensure that the funds that are given to us to do these services, these are traditionally federal and state funds. How do we ensure that there is a return on investment and that we're adding value in the region to our businesses, to our job seekers, to our localities, and to all the partners in which we serve? So again, we're focused on just this business component. So we look at this as sort of a three-legged stool. One leg of that stool is having a business service coordinator that serves the region. That is Kimber Simmons, and she's going to talk to you here shortly. And Kimber's task is to, quite frankly, listen to businesses, do what we need to do, find resources, help bring in other partners, and to work with our 4 business solution teams around the region. And then, of course, the businesses themselves are part of that network. So the 3 of these together are coming up with solutions that meet the needs of the region. I have a map there, another different map than the first one I showed, still shows our footprint. The little orange dots are where we have Virginia Career Work Centers. And we have these 4 business solutions teams that meet and they gather around these regions. So in Fairlawn, the New River Valley Business Solution Team meets. In Wytheville, the Wythe Bland Smith Business Solution Team meets. In Abington, the Washington, Bristol, and sometimes the lower portion of Smith meets. And then in Galax, for the Carroll Grayson and Galac businesses, there's a business solutions team there as well. And again, what we're looking for is, doesn't matter who is your contact of choice within the workforce system. It might be somebody at the Virginia Employment Commission. It might be somebody at the community college system. It might be Kimber. It might be someone with People Incorporated who does some of our programming, or Goodwill Industries of the Valleys who does some of our programming. It doesn't matter who of those is your contact of choice. You should be able to get to all the services within the system, get into the business solutions team members, so that if you have a particular issue you would like addressed, we could have many minds looking at it with you to determine what might be the best course of action. So you saw earlier, we had kind of talked about business engagement. And to me, that's a funny word. It's really kind of just a workforce system word. But what does that actually mean? And I did kind of talk to you about that. It's adding values, bringing something to the table that are really important to businesses, working with businesses, not assuming that I understand what your problem might be, because I might have these funding streams that will allow me to do certain things. My opportunity is to find out what the businesses need. And just so you know, it's really not me. It's Kimber, and it's the business solutions team that do all this component. But it is trying to address the very specific needs of individuals' company and looking at customized solutions. And what we're trying to do is build a long-term relationship with our businesses so that we can, in fact, bring long-term stability and competitiveness to the region. And it's just not about what specific services we can offer you. So I do want to tell you this. One of the skill sets that is required in order to make this effective is a listening skill. Now, some of you do know me, some of you don't. But if you know me, you know that chances are I have a pretty much of a squirrel brain. You're talking, and yep, I am hearing what you're saying, but my squirrel brain is running around in there trying to figure out how I can connect whatever it was you just said to maybe something that I can offer to you. Luckily for you, the likelihood of you talking to me is a little bit slim to none unless you call me specifically. But if you talk to Kimber, who has very good listening skills, she doesn't have a squirrel brain running around trying to do that. She has really stopped to listen, to hear what it is you're talking about, what problems you are having, what's an idea you would like to explore on a hiring or recruitment event. These are all the things that she does. And I'm going to let her spend a little bit of time with that, because this is where the rubber meets the road for our business community.
Great, thanks, Marty. And I just want to kind of reiterate that very last line. Business engagement isn't just a list of services. We really, truly believe that we want our businesses to be our partners, and we have to, and in order to do that, we have to develop relationships, and we have to be prepared just to listen what your needs are, not try to push any service that I have or, kind of sell you on something. It's you tell me what you need, and then we look to see what services and resources we can bring to solve your issue. Here listed is some examples of what we consider business engagement. The first one talking about recruitment and hiring events. And that's not just having holding a job fair and inviting people to come. What we will do is we will help you design, plan, do outreach for, and actually come and work an event for you. We can do something in person, something virtual, something that is customized to just one company, or something that is involves multiple companies. And right now, recruiting is difficult, much more so than it has been. And we have to look at creative solutions. How can we have an in-person event so you can still have that connection with the people you're looking for, but how can we also keep people safe? So we're happy to help anybody who is interested and talk about what the options are. Another thing that we do is these workforce exchange events, and that's something relatively new to us. And what a workforce exchange event is it is a way for businesses and the all of our workforce partners to actually make a true connection, to exchange ideas. And the way that event works is a company will join a group, an audience of our workforce partners, our government partners, our education partners, and occasionally some of their clients who are job seekers. And we'll listen to the company tell us a little bit about themselves, what occupations and opportunities are available within their company, what their kind of perfect candidate looks like, what their hiring and process is, and how they want people to interact with them. And then we give all of the partners and other people who are listening a chance to ask direct questions. And the great piece of this is I can do all of that in half an hour. So I take only a half hour of the company's time, only a half hour of our partners' time, and everyone that's participating gets the same information. So everyone should know should have exactly the same info. And it allows a company to speak to, 20 to 40, depending on the day and how many participate, people at one time. One time you can talk to 20 of these people who have questions and can be that secondary recruiter for you. They can look at the clients they work with, all of the people they interact with, and say, hey, you're a good fit for this company. You should apply. It also helps us stop making bad referrals, not sending you the people that aren't right for you. It's just a great way for us to get the information shared between business and the workforce system. Another great piece of engagement is the support for work-based learning. And for work-based learning, we look at several different types. There's on-the-job training. There is employed worker training. So we can help you bring in new employees and get them trained, sometimes by having some funding support and to help you through the training. And also maybe you have some current employees that need to update their skill set to possibly move into another new position, or their new skills needed for their current position. And we may be able to assist with funds, or to also help you look for sources of that training, point you in the right direction if you don't know even what type of training they need to get that skill set. We can assist with all parts of that, from the help you find a training that gives you the skills you're looking for, help you find a place that provides this training, and under certain circumstances, we actually may be able to assist with helping you fund it. Another thing that we work with are these kind of events to where we have some networking, where we do workshops. We have these roundtable discussions where we bring companies from similar industries together to talk about certain subjects. So for us, we are usually facilitate those discussions. And as Marty says, and then we sit back and are quiet and just listen. Listen to what the company says, listen to how the discussion goes, and try not to, even if you're talking about possible problems, issues, we try not to kind of spout out solutions to you right there. It's let us take it, let's chew on what you gave us, what you're working on, and then bring you some possible solutions, not just open my mouth to throw out some brainstorming, because this is more for your companies or in that industry. I'm just there as a resource provider to listen, let you tell us what you need, and then we can bring you some help. We also do these little workshops where we have different topics that companies are interested in. We bring a presenter in. Sometimes it's someone within our group, our circle. Sometimes it's someone that we just bring in from outside, just whatever the businesses are interested in, and that we try to have those types of workshops. We do business over breakfast, we do lunch and learns, and always try to do those, invite as many companies as possible. And actually, I think we've always been able to provide them at no charge to the company. So you can just come and listen to us. And that's all I'm asking from you for those is come join us, listen. I'm not going to ask anything else other than your attendance and, maybe to say hi at the end or tell me how it went. The last piece, and I think Marty may want to add a little bit about, we're talking about career lattice model development. And that is how we look at an easy way to talk about it for an individual in an entry-level position. We want to help you understand and share how that person can progress within your company, how that person their career can develop within your company. Not just how their career could develop, but how do we see it within your company? And Marty, do you want to share one of the? I think you have the one for manufacturing, so it's probably a little better, a little easier for people to understand when they see it.
Yeah, it's up there. Hold on.
While she's working on making it so everyone can see it, I'll talk a little bit about what a career lattice, what it shows, the information that it'll show on there, and that is
Sorry, I lost connection.
It'll talk about occupations. It'll show occupations kind of in a certain path, and it'll show the education needed to move from one occupation to another. And when we have them, we actually have companies in our region who hire people in these different occupation levels. So it can help from a company standpoint. It can actually help you in your recruiting when you know what a career pathway inside your company or what the career lattice inside your company is. So when you're recruiting those entry-level people, excuse me, you can tell them, you're going to start here, but with some training, you can move to this next step. And then with some more training, you can move to this step and this step. And eventually you could be here, at the top of the career lattice. Or if you want to, in the middle, if you're working, starting out in the warehouse, you don't have to stay in the warehouse. Here's what you need to move over into quality or into the front office. And you can find it's helpful. I think it shows people when you're recruiting them that your company doesn't have to be a stepstone for them. Your company can be a place where they can come and grow and continue to be productive and excited and, and can find all of their career aspirations maybe inside your company.
Kimber, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right. It just finally, that's because this Zoom is not allowing me to do anything. I apologize. It's not doing anything. Yeah, I've lost the ability to change anything. It's just sitting there. It's bizarre. My apologies to everyone watching.
Marty, you may have to sign off and come back on.
Let me try that because it's just spinning.
Kimber's got a copy of the presentation.
I actually do not.
But I can email it to you now. I'm going to have to get out because it has completely locked me out of everything. Truthfully, I can't even figure out how to close down, but.
Kimber, while she's doing that, I have a question or two, and this might be a good time to ask this for those that are tuning in. The services that you all offer, there are other providers throughout Virginia that offer similar, if not the same type of services.
That is correct. There are business services teams like ours throughout the state. So no matter where you are, there is someone who's connected to your workforce board who can help with, bring the members of a business services team to help any company. And we truly believe that we're teams. I talked a little bit about recruiting, but our partners include folks who are not just in the workforce system. Our partners include economic development. Our partners include individuals from education that are in local, regional, state government, individuals from entities like Virginia Community Capital, like the Chambers of Commerce, or the local technology councils. So there's Marty and the back with the career lattice.
And we're on broadband here. That's the scary thing.
But yeah, yes, there are people like me throughout the state who do this type of work.
Okay, thank you.
So I do, Kimber was showing you these career lattices that we are working on for healthcare information technology. This one here is our draft of advanced manufacturing. We are missing, and that was through talking to businesses. They noted that we were missing another whole realm of that health and safety component that happens in many manufacturers. But we do want you to see this because we believe this is how we learn about what industry and specific companies need. And it also enables us to help individuals better understand if they start in this field where they might be able to go. And you do see that there is connection moving when you see these multiple colored. That means it's not really in one line or the other. It could actually show up in either. This little banner back here, this is where 2-year degree places take place. Anytime you see this degree required, that means that particular occupation requires a degree, or this little kind of seal looks like an industry recognized credential. And what we're trying to do now is to find the companies that hire these individuals, because what this will allow us to do is working with the workforce system is to, again, better serve businesses. So you will be hearing more about this because we are beginning to kick off our development of these. Again, skilled trades, which could be construction, could be many type of companies that use welders. It could be automotive. It could be HVAC companies. Again, skilled trades, advanced manufacturing, information and advanced technologies, and healthcare. So I apologize that this took so long to get that piece up. Let me stop this share because I do want to talk to you about one more thing. On that list that Kimber was looking at, and we will go back to it here in just a moment, we talked about podcast. And that is another way that we are meeting with companies in order to better serve them. And I'm going to share this screen here. So you can see this is on our website. And if you go to the entry page to our website and you press this little button here, it will take you to this page. And this is all of our Work Talk podcast. And on occasion, we are in fact talking about programming. We also talk to specifically to businesses and how they want to tell a story about their company, about what you do, who you hire, how you hire. It's a little bit of a free PR for your specific company. I have spoken to a number of companies along the line on how they, like I said, the work you do, where you do your work, who are your customers, and what's the type of talent that you need in order to be able to do the work that you do. It's just another way of talking to people in our communities and to the workforce system so that they can better learn about you. It is a free service. We don't charge for these at all. So let's go back to our presentation. Back to you, Kimber.
Thanks, Marty. We did mention business services. While engagement and services are different, here's just kind of a list. It's not an all-inclusive list of services that are provided, not just by our office, but our partners within the workforce system. And that we don't need, I don't think, any real specifics about them unless people have questions. But we can do HR supports, assistance to small businesses, job postings. We can help you with applicant screening, with some skill assessments for employment applicants. We can help with labor market information. We can help you find space to do things if you don't want to do it on site for you. We can assist with helping you find or understand assistive technology. Also, if you have questions with ADA, we can help with usually directing you in the right area if you have questions about employment, unemployment law. If you need information about tax credits that are available, and also we can help with job profiling from ACT. And there are many other services that are available. What I tell companies is, tell me what you need and I will see who in our area can help you with it.
All right, so you mentioned on that last little piece was ATC job profiling. So we are working with the 21 localities in Southwest Virginia to become ACT work-ready communities. And part of that initiative is to use job profiling to better understand what a particular occupation, what kind of skills and knowledge are necessary for that particular occupation at that particular company. We could job profile the same occupation in 3 companies, and the job profiles may be quite different, just because that is very company specific. These are the localities that we're doing. And along with the job profiling, we use the 3 assessments that go with the National Career Readiness Certificate. And those 3 tests are workplace documents, applied mathematics, and graphic literacy. And basically what you're trying to identify is, where is somebody's skill and knowledge? And these things don't necessarily match up with somebody's degree, somebody's certification. So if you know how much applied math somebody needs to be able to do for this particular job in your company, and they have the NCRC assessments, and you're able to actually see, well, the job profile said I needed a applied mathematics of 4, and I needed to have a workplace documents of a 4, but I needed to have graphic literacy of a 5 for this particular occupation. You would be able to see how this individual scored. Along with doing those assessments and working with somebody to get the jobs profiled for companies that are interested in that, we are also able to provide the curriculum that backs this up. So let's say you would like to promote somebody within your company, and the job they're going into requires a little bit more than they are currently have for free. We'll be able to allow them to work in the curriculum in workplace documents, applied mathematics, and graphic literacy, along with other ACT WorkKeys assessment components. We are currently working with a number of businesses across the region that do this for hiring. But even if you didn't want to use it as a hiring tool to require people to have it, it is also a very good tool to use to just see how somebody within these occupations should be scoring. And we can help you with that too. So you can see up there the things around the work-ready community and why we're trying to do this. But what's the benefit to you as a business owner? Using the WorkKeys assessment and having jobs profiled allow you to make a better hire, which is going to reduce your turnover rates quite a bit. It's also going to reduce your time into hiring, because this is one of the tools that you could use to hire. Because the person is going to come to you with an appropriate set of skills and knowledge for that particular occupation, it will shorten your training period, and it will allow individuals to actually do better on the job, because they're going to be a better fit for that particular job, which does in fact increase employee morale, a decrease in operator error on that equipment, And all of these will allow you, because they are equitable and objective measurements, to meet any EEOC requirements that you may have to meet. We are happy to answer any kind of questions you might have about the Work Ready Community initiative, about having a job profile, or if you would like to have more information about the Work Keys assessments, we are more than happy to talk to you about that. Because you are businesses, I know you're interested in return on investment. And one of the things that's really important to me is that we're able to share. If you remember that goal 6, it was to be of value to the region and to ensure that we had a return on investment to the public funds that come to us to serve businesses and job seekers. So since program year 2016, we have been having these return on investment reports given, work done for us by Magnum Economics out of Richmond, Virginia, and where they evaluate how we are aiding in the region's economy by getting people back to work and ensuring they go back to work at a certain wage range. And so in our last report, which was for the time period July 1st, 2019 through June 30, 2020, we had an 8 times of the cost. So the 8 times of the amount of money that we were given to the region to serve the region, that's how much 8 times more will be economically impacting the region in a positive way. You can see this bit.ly URL where you can go out and read the full report from Magnum Economics on this, which includes how they come to this conclusion and the work that they did for us. But it is important for us to be able to show our business community that we are providing a return on investment for the work that we do. So of course, any of you can reach out to Kimber or myself about anything that you heard today for more questions you might like to have, or if you need to have a recruitment event, a hiring event, definitely contact Kimber because we are doing those customized and have been doing them even through all of this COVID and working directly with companies to ensure they get the talent that they need. So Sandy, again, I apologize for our technical difficulties. And actually, the funny thing was I kept hearing Kimber have some weird thing and I kept thinking it was Kimber. But no, it was me. But we apologize. And I thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to talk to you all today.
Thanks so much, Marty. And for those that are online with us, if you have questions for Marty or Kim, please put those in the Q&A section. And while you're doing that, I have some questions, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
If I'm an employer and I am getting ready to, let's just say, I need to fill positions, what are some of the key things that I need to have together before I reach out to you to save time and effort? Like the top 5 or 6 items that I need to have so that I can help move forward on getting the help I need.
I can start with that. If you know the positions you're looking for, the number of people you're looking for, when you want to bring them on, and a great job description, because that's how we help match, looking for people that are right for you, and not just the description of what the job is, but the background of who you're looking for, any requirements, if there's an educational requirement, if there's a skill set requirement, an experience requirement, knowing those. And we want to help you find the right people. So I'm also going to ask, who is the wrong person? Because we don't want to waste anybody's time. We don't want to waste the job seeker or the company's time in having you look at an application or resume of someone who's not going to be right for you anyway. So, those are kind of the things. Know the job titles, the number of people you're looking for, kind of a time frame of when you want applicants, when you're going to bring them on, and having a good description of who it is you're looking for and what they're going to be doing.
Super. Now, you mentioned about all of these various things that you offer, like a job fair or interview services and so forth. Me as an employer, is there a cost to me to reach out for your help?
Nope. For those type services, no. I mean, you would see on the job business services, there was something that said a cost may apply. The cost is never for kind of my work. The cost may be something associated if you wanted to do an assessment, and that assessment has a cost attached to it. Then cost is going to be that assessment cost. But it's not. If you want to hold a job fair at your facility, you call me. There's no charge for any of our services to help you set that up.
Okay.
And even if we do a virtual, we have a platform that we do virtual career fairs and hiring or recruitment events. We can do that for one company at a time. We can get 5 companies may want to do something together. We can do easily, but no cost to the company.
Yep.
Now, do you have a minimum company size that you will assist?
Nope.
So if I'm a one-woman shop, I can contact you. And now, is this for all full-time, or if I'm seeking some part-time help?
No, if you're seeking help, then we will do our best to help you find help, whether that is 20 hours a week or, full-time with overtime attached to it. It's, we'll do the best we can to help you find the right people. Period.
Great. I always, that's one of those questions I always had in the back of my mind, but you weren't there when I wanted to ask it. But, of course, because I work a lot with small businesses, and that's a great resource, because if they went out on the private market looking for a consultant, that could be very costly to them. To basically, you're providing them some HR assistance free that can help them hire the right people. Now, do you assist them in if they have never developed an employee manual or anything like that, even an application for their business? Do you all assist with all of that?
Yes. Now,
I've helped write job descriptions. I've helped. Yep.
Yeah. The employee manual part, we can do the basics, but depending upon the kind of business they are, there are components of employment law that you want to have, but we can ensure them that here are the components that you need to have inside of an employee manual. But as Kimber said, we've helped people get their application. We've helped write job descriptions for them, because many companies, especially when they start small, they hire people and everybody's just kind of doing whatever has to be done. And as they grow, they begin to silo those people out into doing specific tasks and trying to identify what those tasks are and what those job descriptions are. Or even if I'm a person and I'm trying to hire somebody specific to help me, what is it I need to have that person do? And so we try to help them with a job description, because as Kimber says, you're going to get the right person if the job description is pretty accurate. The wider that job description is, the more likely you're going to get somebody that didn't really meet your needs. So we've done a lot of that work with businesses. And by the way, not necessarily real small companies. Sometimes that's a bigger company evaluating, because that's the other thing we do for a company. They'll tell us they can't hire people. They've been trying to hire and can't get anybody to fill this position. One of the first things I ask is, can you show me that job description? Because I'm almost going to guarantee you there is something in there that is blocking you from being able to get good qualified candidates to apply.
And on the employee manual, sorry to keep going on that, but do you have at least a template that if I want a starting point that's available?
I could get you one that quite frankly, that we used to begin our own several years ago. But one of the workshops that we did not too long ago, and we will probably run it back through again because we find it to be very beneficial, was to have an employment law company come in and talk about the ABCs of an employee manual. But as Kimber said, that's at no cost. We try to go get those speakers, try to open up subjects, very much like you're doing here today, having people come to talk about specific subjects that are going to be beneficial to companies. And we try to do that. It's of no cost to the company. Yeah, I'm quite sure that the lawyers that come and talk to us, if a company reaches out, there is a cost to that. But we try to at least give them the basics.
Well, the last year has probably been one of the hardest on businesses of all sizes. And I suspect there's been managers or owners have had that, oh, I didn't think of that. Can you share some examples of how they hadn't planned and how they got caught off guard by what's happened during COVID? That the folks that are joining us and are going to watch this online later, that they might want to don't wait until the next disaster happens, that you need to put into place now. Just give some, some of the top ones that you think that would be beneficial.
So the first thing is a work from home policy. Really looking at that. And to have something very specific, a policy and a procedure that includes not only how an employee is expected to engage and when they're to engage, but also that includes what the company will and won't pay for. So we just kind of did ours as a piece that first sort of happened was it just went out in an email to our staff, but it then became a component that we will embed into the policy. But quite frankly, as we all know, that component is still sort of going on. I'm sure how companies have dealt with family medical leave issues because many individuals went home under that heading in the COVID packages that the federal government put out and how the federal government guided how that was going to be handled. So certainly family medical leave and for those parents that had to go home, what were we doing with part-time work? Were we allowing people to job share that allowed them to have different times when they could work from home? So I think with this particular, and of course, when you look at manufacturing and all those companies that had those essential workers that were working through this whole thing, they had a whole complete set of health and safety measures they had to put into play that were probably none of us had any idea we were going to have to do. The mere fact that I even had to tell office staff that, you're to put hand sanitizer on your hands before you hit the copy machine. We don't even think about what we've done. The whole mask requirement, where are masks required and how this is going to play out. But I think the biggest component, other than the health and safety, was that family medical leave and also that whole work from home piece that has occurred off and on and is still occurring for many employees.
Hey, Marty, I wanted to add a couple of things, especially
Sure.
along the lines of work from home. And one is making sure if you have a work from home policy that your liability insurance covers anything work that, any kind of access to your data, any kind of breach that happens when your employee is working from home, because that's an issue. Another is making sure that, if your people are working from home and they need to access data that's on servers that they have to access remotely, is understanding the limitations and of your system, what can be done from home, what can't be. And are there ways to, kind of change that? Is looking at your whole IT system, your whole network, just so that you have a better idea. Because when we all of a sudden everybody was working from home, it's like well, I can do this, but I can't access this. And do we need a VPN or not? Or, I mean, there's just so many of those issues that some companies never even thought about until come, mid March last year.
And then the last thing that's just starting to raise its head is the whole vaccine issue. And there is discussion, and I don't have any of those pieces. I'm going to be attending a session next week that's specifically going to talk about can you force people to take the vaccine before you allow them to come back? And which, of course, nobody even knows what you can do yet. But I think that there are legal issues that are going to be coming around just in relationship to getting or not getting the vaccine. So it's an interesting time, and it has been a huge learning curve, really, for all of us.
Great. Well, I don't see any other Q&As. Again, I want to thank you for you both sharing your time and your expertise with our group. I know that you have nothing else to do, but I appreciate you taking out an hour out of your busy schedule to share with us today. And also for those that are joining us live on Zoom, thank you for your time and for joining us. And I know I learned a lot, and I hope that you found the same value that I did. Just a little note to let you know that today's session has been recorded, again, as I mentioned earlier, and it's going to be available on the Virginia Highlands Small Business Incubator's Facebook page and the Virginia Community Capital's Facebook page. But we also have a YouTube channel, and it's really hard to remember, youtube.com/new knowledge, where we have hundreds of videos that we've done since, I think, 2015 that we started recording those. And that will be available online, as well as if you want to tune that in later and you missed a part, or you wanted some clarification, or better yet, if you found value in today's workshop, we highly encourage you to share that video with others in your industry, or neighbors and friends that you think that could benefit, that own businesses and struggling, to know that all of these free services that are available for you, take advantage of it. You don't know what you don't know, and that's where they're at, is to help them learn about what's available in Virginia to help them. Just a little plug for our next session. It will be on March the 17th, and it will be focused on how to make the most online with a limited budget, and it will be led by Jonathan Eveden with Agus IT Solutions. I hope you will make plans to join us. And again, please share today's session with others that could benefit from the content. And I will be sharing Marty's slides with you later today, and the links. So again, thank you so much for your valuable time, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Maybe you can just slip outside and take a quick walk since we're finishing up 2 minutes early. So thank you again, and I appreciate it. Everybody take care and be safe.
Be safe.